My bad. What's good, YouTube? It is your son of a game over here, and today we're gonna be reacting to. Yes, we are gonna be doing another reaction series. We're gonna be not our series, but like another reacting video. Now we're gonna be reacting to 24 horror stories animated compilation of October 2021. We're gonna react to all of these. Well, not all of them, but like most of it. So let's go and get started, shall we? Also, it says 24 horror stories. It says 24 horror. It says 24 stories, but like, why is this video 3 hours? I guess the stories must be. Dang. I guess the stories must be really long. Long stories, I guess, isn't it? Alright, let's go and get started, shall we? In 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Every night before Halloween, an uncanny feeling rushes down my spine. I grew up in a town in Alabama with my little sister Kathy and my dad. Our mom died when we were too young to understand what death is.
Wait, hold on. There you go.
Since then, Dad raised us with utmost love and care. My sister was a quiet kid, and I was the talkative one.
Alright.
She had difficulties in making friends because of her quiet nature, so I always took her with me whenever I played with my friends.
Alright.
I loved her and felt the need to be there for her all the time.
Got it.
From a very young age, I realized that she could have used some motherly affection from me. She used to dress up in front of the mirror and ask me and Dad how she looked. No matter how funny she looked, we always replied with a smile. "You look like a beautiful young lady." Our compliment ended up putting a smile on her face and joy in our hearts. We went to the same school, so all my friends and kids from our neighborhood knew my sister. Some of them picked on me, saying my sister is weird and she only tags along because no one wants to be the friend of a weirdo. I remember punching Benny when he said this in front of Kathy.
Dang. Are you kidding me? I already have it in any software, stupid.
Kathy cried a lot that night, and for the first time she said, "I want Mom." My dad loved my mom more than anyone in this world, and her untimely death affected him to such an extent that he refused to remarry ever again. My aunt tried a lot to fix him for a date with her friend, but my dad refused right away. I knew he had another reason to refuse to get married, and that was his children.
Okay.
He thought, no stepmom will ever love us like her own. My dad has sacrificed a lot just to give me and my sister a happy life.
Yeah, alright, that's interesting.
Being kids, we generally took part in every community event and everyone in town loved us. It was the month of Halloween, and I was excited to go out trick-or-treating with my friends. I was 6 and Kathy was 4 years old at the time. Kathy was nervous because it was her first Halloween. We decorated our porch with carved pumpkin heads. Dad bought us all the things we put our hands on for Halloween. My best friend Jim and I were sipping on lemonade, sitting on our porch, and watching the entire locality buckling up to celebrate Halloween. Kids were running everywhere, and people were laughing and decorating the town. Suddenly, I heard Kathy talking to someone. Her room window is right beside where we were sitting.
What?
Dad went to get some groceries.
Oh, heck nah. If somebody's talking to themselves, or talking to something, or someone, that's not good news. That's not good news. Never good news.
And I was the man of the house at that point. So, I was pretty aware that Kathy is alone in her room.
I'm here.
Then who is she talking to?
Behind you.
I got up and went to her window. "Who are you talking to?" I peeked in and saw Kathy was sitting on her bed, holding her teddy bear.
Why is the music so suspense? Like, we're like barely 2 minutes into the story.
And staring at the closed door. Her pace turned pale as I caught her off guard. She nodded her head, saying, "No one? Why are you standing outside my window?" I smiled and said, "Dad is going to the market. Jim and I are sitting on the porch. Call me if you need anything." She smiled back, and I came back. The same night, we were having dinner. Dad was cooking steak for us. I was sitting at the dining table and talking to him about our Halloween costume when we heard Kathy humming a tune. I have never heard this tune before, so it felt a bit unusual. She was sitting on the porch braiding her Barbie doll and humming this tune like we weren't even there. I looked at Dad and got surprised. His face was white like a blank sheet. He stopped cooking and asked Kathy, who taught you this tune?" Kathy looked at us and said, "What tune?" "The tune you were just humming," Dad replied. "I wasn't humming any tune." Her aloof behavior made me confused. I looked at Dad and said, "Why, Dad? What is it about that tune?" Dad got back to his cooking saying, Nothing. Let's eat.
Alright.
We finished our dinner and went to bed. It was around midnight when I woke up hearing a chuckle from Kathy's room. She was laughing, and I haven't heard her laughing in a long time.
That laugh sounds ugly. I don't like hearing that.
I got up and walked to her room to tell her to go to bed. As I opened her bedroom door, I saw her lampshade falling on the floor.
What the? What the frick? How is that lamp levitating? You gotta get out of the house. It's some paranormal shit going on. You gotta get out of there.
A loud thud. In that fraction of a second, I didn't fail to notice how the lampshade was levitating in the air, and Kathy laughed seeing that. What was that? What do you mean? How was it on the air? No, it wasn't. Standing in her room, I felt extremely cold. Kathy lied down and closed her eyes.
If you're in a room and it's extremely cold, chances are either it's an air conditioner that's really blasting the cold out, or it's a ghost in there. That's the only two options that I have.
Ignore me completely. The next morning, when I told Dad about this, I saw him get worried. But the joy of Halloween distracted us from that one important matter that we shouldn't have overlooked. As the kids came out in the neighborhood, dressed up in their Halloween costumes, they were knocking from house to house with their buckets to collect as much candy as possible. Their cheerful voices echoed in the town as they cried in joy, "Trick or treat!" I wore my favorite Batman costume, and Kathy dressed up as Superman. We came out and met my friends, Jim and Mike, on our way to the sugar hunt. After covering almost every house in our neighborhood, Jim said to go a bit far to find some more houses. Even though Dad told me not to go too far with Kathy. But that one night, I did act like my age. We walked on the empty sidewalks, keeping our locality behind us. There was not much residence nearby, and the deep woods starts onwards too. On that dark Halloween night, I could see Kathy getting scared. She said we should go back, but I assured her nothing will happen. After
her eyes looked weird. Y'all saw her eyes, right? Look at that.
Scared.
Look at her. Kind of looks like from Ice Age.
She said we should go back, but I assured her nothing will happen. After walking for some minutes more, we came in front of an old house. The house looked completely abandoned, but there was a big pumpkin head placed on the porch. A candle was burning inside it. "Let's go to that house," Jim said. Mike and I thought for a second, but then we all started walking towards the house. I turned back and saw Kathy wasn't following us. She was just standing behind with a freaked out face. I asked her, "What is it?" She said, "We shouldn't be going there. We should go back." I told her to wait near the stairs while we walked to the porch and knocked on the door. We knocked, but no one answered. Mike kicked on the door out of frustration, and it creaked open. The dark hallway stood in front of us. A smell of old house choked my nostrils as the door opened. "Anyone home?" I asked. A long pause went by, and no one replied. We all turned around to leave, just when a woman spoke from the darkness of the hallway. "Come on in." I was about to take the first step when Kathy rushed to me and grabbed my hand saying, "Don't! It's her! She wants to hurt you!" "Who are you talking about?" "Blue-faced mommy." What?
What?
Three of us almost shit our pants hearing this from Kathy. Mike didn't even wait. He turned around and ran away.
Yeah, you should probably be doing that too.
Jim followed him too. I stood in front of the dark house porch with Kathy.
What are you doing? Get out of there. I'll be zooming out in seconds.
Suddenly, the woman inside spoke again. "Kathy, bring him in."
That sounds like Venom.
This time, her voice sounded rough and pissed off. Kathy screamed, saying, "You're not my mommy." "Bring him in." When we reached home, she busted into tears holding my dad. She said in a sobbing voice, "I lied to you. Blue-faced mommy taught me that tune. I don't like her anymore, Daddy. She wants you and Henry dead." I could see the fear in my dad's face. He uttered in a fumbling voice, How does she look like?" "Her face is blue and her eyes have no eyelids. She scares me. I don't want her to visit me at night anymore."
Ooh.
That night, We all slept in Kathy's room. I remembered my dad shouting in the middle of the night, "We don't need you! Leave me and my family in peace!" That Halloween was the last time Kathy talked about blue-faced mommy.
Dang.
I don't know if she was real, and I don't even want to know. But whoever in that house told me to come in surely had bad intentions.
Bring him in.
Yeah, you think?
Hey guys, I see many of you commenting on my videos that this channel deserves 1 million subscribers. But I also see the percent of people who watch my videos aren't actually subscribed to the channel. So, if you like the content, want to support my channel, and want to see this channel reach 1 million subscribers, or maybe 500,000 subscribers.
You know what I see about anime? You know how there's one common thing I always see in animators nowadays is that now they're too lazy to animate the mouth moving in with the hell the voice is saying. You know when you speak, you have like a little your mouth kind of like I don't know, like your tongue kind of like jungles around in the bottom and your top of your mouth sometimes, and then your teeth like your mouth moves and blah, 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 and that it does that sometimes, but sometimes it is accurate to what you're saying. Look at
Subscribers.
so anyways, guys, as I was saying, look at so anyways, guys, as I was looking. So anyways, guys, as I was saying, I don't know why they're too lazy to make the mouth accurate with what they're saying.
Ahead, subscribe and hit the bell icon. It's free and you can always change your mind later.
Shut up. Thank you.
I can't remember much of my early memories as a kid, but there's one thing I could never
story.
forget.
Here we are, next story. Let's go make it started.
Is that I really liked clowns. One particular memory that stands out was at my 7th birthday party. There was this boy called Theodore who I knew since kindergarten. He always had this huge crush on me, although I never reciprocated the feeling. Apparently, he finally worked up the courage and told me he liked me during the party. And I remember not caring as I just left him there, and I ran to find the clown because at the time, it was the only thing I cared about. I remember him staring at me with tears in his eyes.
Dang, that's the story of a villain. Guys, this is the villain backstory. This is the story of a villain backstory. This kid right here, he gonna grow up to be a villain. He gonna be torturing people. Oh gosh, for revenge. And then once he finds you, he's going, ooh man, he gonna torture you so much, dude. And she gonna grow up to be one of those hoes. She really is.
But I was still so fascinated by the clown to care about his feelings. As I grew older, I guess the love for clowns began to fade. And when I was 12, I began taking down all my clown posters from my room. I remember my mom asking me, "Tracy, why are you taking out all your clown-themed things? You love clowns." And I remember telling her, "Well, Mom, I guess clowns aren't cool anymore." Fast forward to 6 years later. I was 18 at the moment. I remember it was on a Tuesday.
All right.
I had gotten some intel that there was going to be a small gathering at Dylan's house. The party went on pretty long, so I left really late. I remember standing outside in the cold, dark night. There were no cars or taxis coming around. I began to feel really scared as I stood there waiting for at least one taxi to show up. So I began texting my friend Molly, and I told her I was scared. And I remember her telling me, "Don't worry, you'll probably see a taxi soon, and if anything happens, you can bet I'll find you." Now, I know this may be a weird statement, but Molly wasn't lying. I don't know how, but she always knew where I was, be it at a party or at school. I really didn't know how she did it, and every time I asked, she told me, "I'm never telling." I didn't think much of it, as I just assumed she knew me too well since she was my best friend, and that's how she always knew where I was. I stood there for 10 minutes talking to Molly before I started looking for a cab again, but the road was still empty. As I was about to give up, that's when I noticed something. A yellow car that looked a lot like a taxi was parked just down the road. It wasn't moving, so I assumed.
Looked like a taxi? Yeah, if it's not a taxi, don't go in it. Cause you specifically said looked like a taxi. So if it looks like it, that's not it. Because you should say, because if it's not a taxi, you can't go in there.
Assumed no one was inside. I waved at it, and immediately the headlights came on and the car began to move. And it stopped right where I was standing. It was dark inside the cab, so I couldn't see the driver's face. But I told him where I was going, and I asked him, "Can you take me there?" He didn't reply to me, as he just nodded his head yes, without saying a word. I got in and heaved a sigh of relief as I was finally going home. We were driving for a long time, so I started chatting with Molly. After a while, I decided to stretch a little, and I finally took my eyes off my phone. And even then, I still couldn't see the driver's face. It wasn't till we passed another streetlight when I finally noticed the bright red ball on his face. I remember thinking to myself, was that a clown nose? We passed another, and I finally got a really good look at him. And that's when I realized my taxi driver was a clown. The feeling of fear immediately set in as I began to frantically look around. I guess he noticed me freaking out, and he said, "Don't be alarmed, Tracy. We're almost there." As he swerved into a forest, the only thing on my mind was, how does he know my name? We didn't drive for much longer after that, as he stopped at a small cabin that was just right in front of the forest. He got out, and he ushered me to get out.
Oh no, look at this dude. Look at him. Scratched, messed up. Freaking eyes look like he just wore makeup. He's crying like you know how girls when they cry, their tears are black because of the makeup. This is what he looks like. Look, he's freaking. Look at this. His eyes are red. Look like he just took some illegal drugs. He look like a freaking scratch. Look at his freaking hair, bro. He looked like he got struck by lightning and it just and it spiked out, bro. Look, he's so messed up. He looked like he just came. He looked like he just came back from like what the freaking. He looked like he just came back from the desert or something. Look at how freaking he's messed up. He looked like he just came out of a mental institution.
I hesitated. He then sternly held my hand and pulled me out of the car. He led me to the cabin and ushered me in.
What the frick? No. If this man trying to let you... No, I'm not letting you in. No, I'm not just gonna let you do that to me. I'm not gonna freaking do this to me. You're not gonna...
It was dark inside, and I could hear him looking for the light switch. As the light finally came on, I didn't know whether to scream or to run, as what I saw transfixed me. It was what seemed to be a shrine decorated with numerous pictures and dolls of me. There were pictures from my childhood.
He's a stalker. Bro, he's a stalker. He's stalking you.
Pictures from me in high school. There were also little wooden dolls with face carvings that resembled mine. And I also saw numerous things that went missing through my childhood. I saw my pink bicycle that was stolen, some old diaries I couldn't find, my hairbrushes, and even some of my clothes and underwear.
What? This man is a creep. Okay, so not only this man is a stalker, he's also a freaking creep. Not only this man is look like he just came. Not only this man look like he just took illegal drugs. He's also a stalker and a creep. Wow. This man messed up.
As I looked around more, I also saw all the clown-themed posters I used to design my room. The same ones I threw out when I was 12. They were plastered now, all over the wall. I can't put into words how I was feeling at that moment, as all my life, I literally thought I was just a clumsy person who always lost her things. And as I slowly began to have a breakdown, he finally spoke. "You like it, don't you?" I remember being too scared to speak. He then continued. "I spent most of my life..."
Oh! This man looks like he about to strike somebody.
"Trying to make this perfect for you. I bleached out my skin to make myself more paler for you. I dyed my hair
Simp alert, simp alert.
red, and I constantly wear the clown makeup. What do you think, my sweet Tracy?" He said as he came closer
Bro, he's a
and presented
simp.
himself with a
Okay, so not only this man is a creep, a stalker, little lady just took illegal drugs, and he's also a simp. Wow.
big smile. He looked horrible, like he was terribly sick. His skin was rough and haggard, which I assumed was due to all the clown makeup that was caked on his face. His eyes were bloodshot red, as if the
Don't do that
chemicals that the
scream.
makeup
Don't make that scream. Thank you.
was composed of was stinging his eyes. He looked like he was in terrible pain, but he was smiling. I didn't know what to say as I just said, "Please, can I go home?" He looked extremely hurt as he asked, "But why? Why don't I see the spark in your eyes? Don't you like this? I did it for you."
I don't like this, dipshit. Damn.
I was
I'm gonna slap your face. That's what you get. I'm out of this place.
confused, and I was getting really frustrated and pissed as I didn't know what he was saying, and he was getting pretty close to me. So instinctively, I shouted, "Get away from me, you sick freak!" And that's when I knew I fucked up.
Yeah. No, you're not effed up. You just You need to put him in his place. That's where he needs to be.
He hit me hard across the face, and I could taste blood in my mouth. "I saw the way you looked at that clown. I saw the spark in your eyes while I cried that day. And I knew this was what you loved."
I don't anymore, you fucker.
"So I became a clown, Tracy. I became this for you."
Turn your designs into profit with Printful. Place them on any of our products.
This is the wrong time
and
to be
sell
doing
them
this right now.
That's when my mind started putting the pieces of the puzzle together. "Theodore?" I said. "You finally remember." "Yes, it's me, Tracy. I've come for your heart once more, and this time I've come prepared, as I have become what you love most." I felt my heart beating in my chest, as I knew what I said next will determine whether I get out of here alive. I then took a deep breath and said, "Look, Theodore, we can talk about this more calmly. Just let me go, and then we can talk about being friends." The look on his
Oh no. Okay, now you actually effed up. You just friend zoned him. You literally just friend zoned him. Oh no, you are in deep trouble, girl. You are in deep trouble. Oh no, he go F you up. You messed up. You really did messed up. I not even I can help you in this one. I'm sorry, I can't.
face told me I had said the wrong thing as he smacked me again.
Ooh.
"I didn't wait for you all my life just so we could become friends. You like clowns? You got a clown!" He shouted at me before he proceeded to tear my blouse.
What the?
I kept on fighting, but my mind told me it was futile, because even if he looked sick, he was really strong, and
Strong. Look at those noodle ass arms. There's no way this man's strong.
it was only a matter of time before he'll overpower me. I suddenly let up, and he began to rip my clothes.
Oh.
I then began to think of my family, my mom in particular. My mind drifted off to my friends, and I began to remember Molly. I thought to how she always knew where I was, and I said to myself, "Too bad she couldn't find me
Oh no.
today." And as Theodore was about to have his way with me, the door bust open, and cops grabbed him off me and held him down. They began to surround me, and the following hours seemed like a blur. They took me to the car. They drove me to the station, and right there in the police station, the first person I saw waiting for me was Molly. I immediately rushed to hug her with tears in my eyes.
Right,
Two cops then
dang.
entered into the room. They sat me down and asked me questions. I told them everything. Once they finished their questions,
You need to tell him everything. What are you talking about?
the cops told me, "You're really lucky that your friend here phoned in and told us where you were." After that, they left. Molly then told me, "As soon as I saw you stopped replying, I knew something was wrong. So I called your mom to find out if you were home, and she said no. So I looked up your location, and once I saw it, I immediately called the police." I remember asking Molly, "Seriously, you've got to tell me how you knew where I was." And then she finally did. She said, "Remember when we were 14, we went camping with my dad? And that night we were really scared as we had watched a scary movie, so we thought someone will jump out of the woods and grab us? You can't remember, but we both installed the Find My Friends app on our phones that night, just in case anything happened. Well, you totally forgot about it, and I didn't. And as the years went by, that's how I always knew where you were.
Yep.
I actually only
I knew it was from an app.
used it to find out where the coolest parties and hangouts were, as you were always at those places. Never in a million years did I think I'd use it to save your life."
Wow. Dang. That was freaking good. Alright, well, this is gonna be it, guys. I'm just gonna do 2 stories. I don't want to do freaking 3 hour things. I'm good with that. Plus, I have to go somewhere in like 2 hours, so I'm not gonna have time to edit this video. So this video's probably gonna be out by like 6 p.m. maybe. Not sure about that. I'm gonna go somewhere in like 2 hours. You know how long editing takes, right? So it's gonna take a. We're probably be up like 7 and 8 p.m. No, not that much. It's alright. Also, no, I'm not gonna say anything. This is gonna be it. Well, alrighty, guys. That'll be it for today's video. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye bye. Wait a minute. This video isn't over yet. I need to tell one more thing before the video ends. And that thing is that there's gonna be a new vid coming up. New vid. Something gonna be more interesting. P.S. It's gonna be about that cat girl that I met in a normal elevator video. Alrighty. Anyways, now this is the end for today's video. Well, alrighty, guys. That'll be it for today's video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Help me, please.